Going.
Okay. I'll preface this with, we just came out of executive session, and we're going to discuss the constitutional redistricting. Michael has brought up some different issues, possible issues with this. What I was saying is, I take my oath very seriously to uphold the Constitution. But I think maybe at this time, it's muddy in the waters a little bit too much. There's way too many variables. Perhaps this is something we should do during the time of redistricting. I think we could have more power at that point when we can go down to Cheyenne and fight for the redistricting. And at the same time, put in our vacancies at that time. I'm not sure how far we'll get at this point and if the county should be in that position.
Mike, I got a question for you. This is a copy of the state constitution, and if I read this, and it said, and there's footnotes in Article 3, Section 3, to say this section is inconsistent with the application of one person, one vote. Is that in the same constitution that I swore my oath to uphold the office, those footnotes? And this is what I swore on. It says it's in there.
It is, and I believe those footnotes are case law interpreting the Constitution.
So, if I swear on this book right here, if I say no, I'm still upholding my oath of office, correct? I mean, it's in the book.
Well, it goes again to the reading Article 3 or Section 3 with Section 48, and then the other courts have interpreted by case law. So it's just a fuzzy kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, I mean, you're still upholding.
Can I make a timely thing? I'd like to comment on the way this section of your meeting was noticed, and then the way I heard you speak. It's noticed as constitutional redistricting. I've always called it constitutional districting. I'm not interested in redistricting. If you follow the state constitution, we know what the districts are. There's no backroom deals, no smoke-filled rooms. Everyone knows what the districts are. You don't have to redistrict. What you have to do after every census is reapportion. So that, in my view, it just muddies the water and aids those people that want to handle everything legislatively with their political districts to call it redistricting. Thank you.
well, you know, we're accused of not upholding our oath of office, which now I find maybe doesn't hold a lot of water. And the more I think about it, there's a lot of citizens in this county that voted for those individuals that are in office, and personally, I don't want to take that vote away from those people. Sorry, no, I didn't understand that.
No, you're fine.
That said, I want to make a motion to rescind resolution 2024-10.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion that's been properly seconded, discussion, go ahead.
I think it's untimely to do it right now. The county has got about 12 years invested in this. William was a county attorney in the county clerk back when we started, and they got a lot of time and money invested in it, and the concerned citizens have a lot of time invested. But since the last meeting, the state executive committee of the Republican Party has met and stuff, and we've been assured that the Republican Party wants to go forward, the statewide Republican Party. And they're working on a couple of cases that will affect this through attorneys. I don't see why we need to rescind right now. Is it costing us some problems or whatever? Until it gets resolved at the state level, I would say let it flow and see where it goes. Because we got the Secretary of State that's on board with it. We have what will probably be the Speaker of the House on board with it. And for you guys to jerk this back right now, that does not make sense to me at all. Nobody's talking about suing. You've got no letter saying you're gonna be sued. You've got no response that you can't do it. There are a lot of people in higher positions in the state that's willing to support it. And if you're gonna go back and say we're gonna wait until 10 years when we redistrict, most of us in this room won't even be here. You won't be in office, nobody, and you'll be starting from scratch. And we better go through with it right now, because you're gonna need anything that they can stop us with now. They're gonna pull it in what, 8 more years? I think we just redistricted last year, didn't we? So it'll be 8 years before we redistrict again. Well, if you're thinking that, we better start right now and keep going with what we can do and find out every landmine that they will throw at us. So when we do go, if we have to wait till then, can't get it done, we will be better citizens and a better county to do it. I just don't see no reason. I mean, God, nobody's even threatened you with anything. Everybody has been supportive as we went. Have you got any constituencies in this county that's come forward? We've got a petition with 270 names. Have you got a petition with 270 names saying, let's drop this?
I'd be more in favor, I think, of sending a letter of support from some of the other counties that I think Sheridan County is maybe trying to litigate it. If I'm correct in that thought, I think that's who it is, but I think there's other avenues.
I'm certainly not trying to buck the other commissioners on this, but our own attorney said it was in the gray. I feel like this has been stated that this is going to be a difficult fight. I've never told you guys once that, I mean, this is going to end up going to court federally, and whether the Republican Party does it or whoever does it, by us putting the roadblock back up, it's going to hinder their ability to fight this, I think. But the same thing, I say again, the county of Weston doesn't have the funds to fight this in any capacity. I don't want to stand in front of the Constitution, and I certainly am not I know everything about everything kind of a person, but I think that at this point, I agree with Dan in that there's no roadblocks yet. Maybe that road may come and we may have to rescind it, but at this point, why would we do that when we haven't even started? And they've just begun to pull the resources together. I don't know why we would do that. And you could be 100% right that this is a barrier that we're never going to beat, but I don't think we should hinder it.
Oh, thank you.
I think Nathan was next, I'm sorry.
Yes, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Yes. I hope you don't rescind it. There's been a lot of activity out in the state. Sheridan County, that's correct. They're very supportive. Hot Springs County has gotten quite active. Park County, interestingly, part of suburban Connecticut, has interest. So it's gotten out of Weston, plus the Republican Party and the legislature, certain members of the legislature. So it's gotten out of Weston County finally, after years of effort, and it just looked kind of bad to have Weston County say under no threat from anybody of anything, to say, oh, well, we changed our mind. Thanks.
I've got a question. My question would be, if we are doing what you're trying to do right now and rescind this stuff, we've lost 12 years of work, and the people most knowledgeable on it won't be here in 8 years. But we've done miraculously deals, the county has. The head of the Freedom Caucus 2 years ago would not even consider this, and now he's supporting it. And all these other counties have passed resolutions to support our resolution. But my question to you is, in 10 years, 8 years, are we gonna be any more financially ready to put any money into this? You've gotten I don't know how many man hours you've gotten free on this deal. And we went to other counties, we've done everything, and it's finally starting to culminate. Like I say, people 2 years ago that wouldn't even talk about it are now supporting it. And the Republican attorney for the state is working on a couple of angles too. So I say, let everybody work through. We can throw up our hands, you know, it's like the cops. Anytime you want to say I surrender, they let you. And no harm, no foul. So I don't see why we're throwing our hands up and saying, oh, we can't do this when nobody has said we can't yet. We've got an awful lot of time, and there is no better time than right now. Because you know, every year, the government gets worse and worse and worse. They take away more of the rights they do not have constitutionally or morally to have. So, you know, you guys aren't the only board. 10 years ago, a different county board voted to do this. They just didn't know how. And we've been working on it for 12 years. And we're finally getting the how. Don't shut it, Cower Lake off.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Commissioner, go ahead.
I still think that a letter from the board in support of what Sheridan County is doing is just effective as this would be. They're, you know, without declaring our representatives null and void, and potentially affecting citizens of Weston County's vote. And I have no problem with the letter of support for Sheridan coming from full support from this board from Weston County.
I'm not necessarily in favor of rescinding the resolution. I think the question in my mind comes with the vacancies and the people in office now and how that would all come about. And so I would feel more comfortable. Is it possible for the vacancies to be considered the next election cycle? Can you put something in there that makes those vacancies to where the people who have legally been elected into office now are respected in the offices that have been put into by the people?
If you're looking at me, I have an answer for a question for Mr.
Could I answer your question?
One at a time, yeah.
It seems the way you're thinking about this is fairly common, although I don't think it's right. The resolution under consideration for being rescinded today, asks that the state constitution be followed. That's going to take a lot of perking through the system, but it is. Nobody's going to, it's not, it says nothing about the legislative districts. Doesn't purport to end them, terminate them, get rid of them, supersede them. It just says follow the Constitution. And the next chance they get to do that is the next time they district. Reapportionment. So I don't foresee any barn sale on district representatives happening because the county's into following the Constitution. You see what I mean? No attack on our representatives. They're legislatively allowed to be in the legislature, and that's the way it's going to be until this issue is settled. Okay.
Todd, you keep saying you don't want to take the vote away. By not doing this, you are taking my vote away. I have a constitutional right to vote for a member of my county that I live in. I don't have a representative or a senator because I cannot vote for Alan Flagel. That's who I wanted to vote for. But because you guys are ignoring the Constitution, I don't have that right. So it's a double-edged sword. Whose right's more important? I've had people tell me, oh, we didn't know JD wasn't from Weston County. Well, that's not my fault. That's not your fault. But they thought they were voting from somebody in Weston County because the legislature, and this is taxation without representation. And my taxes are the same in this county. Becky sends me a bill the same as she does everybody else. But I have no representation at the state because when Chip Nyman, who I would love to have in our county, goes to the legislature and brings money home, guess which county it goes to? It goes to Moorcroft, Sundance, and Hewlett. Okay. Allen goes down there. He could bring money back to Weston County. But now JD's down there, and I'm not bad-mouthing JD. But when he gets money, which county does he take? The state does not give money to senatorial or representative districts. It goes to the county. So you guys are doing what you said you would do, would uphold the Constitution. I would have my constitutional representative. And right now, I have none. So whose vote's more important? The one that's following the Constitution or the people? And you're doing it by aiding and abetting, you're doing it to all three counties. You're taking away them. My interest is not the same as Niobrara County. My interest is not the same as Crook County. Are we sister counties? Yes. But we need the money. I hear this all the time. We gotta raise more tax money because we infrastructure, all that. Well, counties get money, not districts. And right now, you don't have. As a board of county commissioners, you have no representation in Cheyenne. Your senator won't even come to Weston County. And your representative is from Niobrara County. So the two people that's representing this whole county they're not representing the whole county. Because I believe Allen would still be in if this half of the county could have voted. But I understand Niobrara wants him. Who wouldn't? But I just want to point out, that's two separate votes there. But no vote, their vote's not more important than my vote. And my vote is backed by the Constitution, which everybody in this room swore to uphold. Not whether it's nice, not whether it's comfortable. No, that's it. So, and you asked, Alan, in the paper, you said, sorry, Nathan, you said you don't know where you get the authority to declare vacancy. That little book you just held up gives you that authority.
I have not read that in
Right, but that is the book that has the authority over the whole state. You swore to uphold the book. not the addendum added to it that's never been passed legally. And that's just for clarification. The Constitution will take care of it. I really think, guys, even if we have to wait 10 years, don't stop this process right now. Because in 10 years, we have to start all over again. We can work, we don't, at least let the new legislature get in. Because we got a head of the Freedom Caucus that supports it. We've got at least this majority floor leader in the House. We've got a Secretary of State, and we have a Republican Party that's willing to help us. I don't know where you're going to find that kind of help again, ever. So if you wash your hands of this, I think you wash your hands of the whole thing. Thanks.
Ben, I don't mean to cut you off, but we may have a call coming in, but I have a motion on the floor that has been seconded. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor of rescinding the motion to declare vacancies, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Nay.
Nay.
Nay. Okay. This proposal for Weston County, and we may have to interrupt that if we get a call coming in. I'm not sure, but he said there was a call coming in on my phone, so I don't want to. So we may have to stop that, but we'll get it started. The proposal that Weston County hire William Turley to work on constitutional county district issues. We'll present that.
We had a meeting with concerned citizens and we talked about it, and we think that it would be a great asset to us to move forward. William has been here since the start, and just speaking personally, William was not on board with what we're doing 10 years ago when we started, or 12 years ago when we started. It took him about 10 years of studying and his background to get on board with what we're doing right now. And he's a real asset for anything that comes up in the future on this, that he's willing to offer the board at a deal I think everybody can live with. I'm not speaking for William, but we want to make the motion that there's an asset in this county, and he'll have the support of all of the concerned citizens to do things like get a hold of Frank and some of the public officials at the state level.
The ones that start slow, but boy, by mid-season, you see something, and by the end of the year, they're the scary team nobody wants to play. Those are more fun than the teams that come in that you know are going to dominate, and they are dominating. You know, you're almost afraid to lose when you've got really, really good teams and high expectations.
Oh, for sure.
Those are fun seasons. Is there that potential in Dobie sports this year for some of those programs?
I think it's possible. Cody coming down into 3A this year is going to scare quite a few of us old 3Ers, but we do have that potential for growth. We are not coming in at the beginning of the season at our highest potential, which frankly, you don't want. You want your team to grow. You want your team to develop and then get to that point by the end of the season to have that shot at postseason play.
He'll have the support of all of the concerned citizens to do things like get a hold of Frank and some of the public officials at the state level. I'll let him talk about it, how he wants to do it, but I just think we've already got, I don't know, how long were you county attorney when you were?
Just a term.
4 years of county attorney money in there. He can help our present county attorney, just knowing the case laws and the stuff that we've looked at, because we went clear back to where counties were here before the state of Wyoming. And I'll let him speak to the deal, but we support this wholeheartedly, and I think it's a good deal.
Mayor, I've told you around here, okay, county attorney hires whoever he wants. He has to deal with the funding issues with you guys, but that's his business. he can talk to anybody he wants. So I'm not trying to ask you to give me a job in his office, that's his business. I think I started this without giving it very much thought at a meeting of concerned citizens. I was feeling some frustration that I get information from all secondhand, thirdhand, reflected off corners and bounced around walls, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the state, what's the best, how can this issue be furthered out there in the state. And then I opened my mouth and I opined it would be nice if the board had a person that was the focal person for this issue, so that that person could say, I'm trying to get an update so I can report to the Weston County Board of Commissioners on what your activity is and what your activity is, and sort of try to centralize it a little bit. And then I said, well, I'd be willing to do it. I'd have to charge the county something huge, like $1 a month. That's all I remember about that meeting. And I've given it a lot of thought since then. I suppose any citizen can be active and can take it on himself, come and report. Keep the board abreast of an issue. But I do think it would help in dealing with state party legislatures, legislative people, etc., county commissioners. If you had somebody that was, even if it's one of yourself, that was picked to be that person that they interact with and that reports to keeps you abreast of what's going on out there in the state on this issue. One good reason for that, and there's a lot of others, but one good reason is, it's my experience that this idea, when you get it out, bring it to life off the pages of that book Nathan's got, well then, it's subject to everybody's first thought, well, obviously that means, and there to me is the danger. There's no point being involved in this effort if you facilitate somebody getting into federal court and squishing the issue because they misrepresent, because they don't understand it. You guys are ahead in the state grappling with this issue and having some understanding of its importance and its contours. So I wish you were more involved in talking with other people out there in the state so they don't go down a rabbit hole here and off on this tangent there, and without thinking, facilitate legal actions against this idea because they're allowed to misrepresent what's going on. Curley's mantra is on this issue, no argument with the feds. One man, one vote? Certainly. Counties don't have representation? Certainly. What else do you want? The Supreme Court said. No argument. But our legislature needs to stay within the bounds set by our people as put forth and written down in the Constitution. Thank you.
One thing, I'm going to use an analogy here if I can for a minute. Commissioner Wagner, Commissioner Todd could be exactly right about this whole resolution and where we need to be at with it. But I look at this a little bit like the road gate that drops going up to 85. The snow's really bad and the gates drop. To me, this resolution, at least my point of view of it, was to lift the gate saying, look, the road's bad, the road's icy, there's high winds, there's all these things going on. If you pass the gate, you're going to get a fine because you passed the gate when the gate was down, and the cop's going to send you back and say you broke the law because the gate was down, you shouldn't have gone. If we lift the gate, we're not saying, at least I'm not saying that the county again I think it's a mistake to I think you have a lot of knowledge, William, I do. And I think Eathorne knows that you're involved with this, but I think tying it to Weston County, again, then links a responsibility to us that I don't know that we can financially, even though it's $1, I look at it like that gate. We're lifting the gate so that you don't get in trouble for crossing the gate. But there's a whole lot of mess of the highway that has to be sorted through before we ever get to where I think you guys want to go. So although I'm in support of not rescinding the resolution, I'm not in support of involving the county except for its support of lifting the gate to continue on when Eathorne's already, from my understanding from him and talking to me, he's accepted the fact that you guys are going to be working on it. You're going to go get support from it from other areas. I don't think we need to get into that, even if it's for 50 cents. It's 50 cents. We just don't have.
No, not that cheap.
That's my view of it. And for the record, I mean, the other two commissioners may be exactly right. I just am lifting the gate so you don't get a fine for crossing the gate.
Right. Question for William. What's the advantage of the county to have this position filled? I mean, you're obviously representing your knowledge to the county and already, but is there an advantage of the county filling that position that you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't even know that anybody needs to be hired. I just wish somebody was appointed or chosen to be the ombudsman, the focal point for outreach in the state, to stay abreast of current affairs, and to listen for when they're going awry and they're screwing it up because they don't understand it. I think it's an important function. You guys got this out in the state. Now a little fluffing and nesting would be good because a lot of people grab hold of it with the first impression and then misunderstand and it goes awry in their head and the people they talk to. So even if you don't hire anybody, there ought to be I just think there ought to be somebody that keeps you abreast of what's going on out there. I say this full well understanding that the board, for its reasons, may find it sufficient to change course at some point. But it would be a more informed decision if you were better informed on what's going on out there. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I see this last several months, the word click kept getting thrown around. And I'm going to use this as a learning point for some people. It's C-L-I-Q-U-E, not C-L-I-C-K like a pen. And I wasn't elected to hold this office by the concerned citizens in support of the Weston County Sheriff. And I'm afraid what is going to end up inevitably happening is we're picking a hornet's nest. And we very well could likely end up with worse representation than we have now when this is all said and done. Very well could. You're going to end up with 50 legislators in Natrona County, and we'll have 1 to their 50.
Is there any other comments involving this discussion? I don't think we need a motion for anything. So, move on.
Unless you want to hire it.
Wow.
So you can make it.
Yeah, 2 minutes and she should be gone.
No motion? Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate your input.
Thank you. Oh, no motion, no second, understood. But thank you for the discussion.
With all due respect, I respect I think the world of you, so thank you for.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking with you, and I'll give you your statute, chapter and verse authority to have passed the resolution.
talk about.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Give it a minute before we move on. Paramount's moving for a while. You said she would be calling this one?
What do you do?
Yeah.
How do you? I call it box.
Hello.
Morning, Commissioners.
Hi, Drew. How are you? You're on speakerphone.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Morning, girl.
Can you all hear me okay?
I think so.
Pretty good.
Okay. Is it my turn,
It
Mr.
is.
Chairman?
You're on. Go ahead.
All right, well, thank you, Becky, for getting me on the agenda. So we have a few things to talk about this morning. One is you all received last night from me a copy of your comments regarding NOGA, the National Old Growth Amendment. So just a friendly reminder, I worked with Micah to develop the template, and then we sent it back to the counties to put in our individual information from our county plans and other things. So your letter should be good to go. But Becky, I did not have time to proof it, so please proof it before you finalize it and sign it. I know you probably haven't had time to read it, Commissioners, it's a little bit lengthy, but it says all the things that we've been working on for the last 3 months. So I would entertain any questions or concerns with no comments.
Any comments?
Thanks, Drew.
Go ahead.
Hey, Drew, thanks for doing that extra work for us. I know it's above and beyond what you had initially signed up for.
Thanks, Commissioner. I will say also, just as an FYI, I do have a separate contract we can put in place for spillover things. So me finalizing your comments with Weston County information was not covered under the WCCA contract. So there may be a few additional hours that I will need to bill separately. I did call Commissioner Todd last week just to kind of give him a heads up that that was the way that it was going to go, because WCCA wasn't going to pick up that individual piece for every county. So I hope that that's okay. I know I've already done the work, and again, you can deny it, but I hope that that's okay, and I can just bill those few hours. It's not excessive.
I'm sure. When is your deadline?
It's Friday the 20th.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the chairman's signature on the National Growth Amendment.
Second. I have a motion that's been properly seconded with chairman's signature on Drew's contract.
No, it's the.
The comment.
Oh, comments. Oh, I don't want to make sure it's taken right. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All those opposed? Passes. You're good, Drew.
Okay, so the next thing that we are working on is we are in the 30-day protest period for the Rock Springs Resource Management Plan. If you'll all recall, we did file just very simple letters. And so my thought is that this is due Monday the 23rd. There are 5 Weston Niobrara. It would be very simple, short protest, just supporting Southwest Wyoming. I will tell you the draft EIS came out, alternative D is now the preferred, but they're still restricting like 30% oil and gas activities. They proposed 16 ACECs, areas of critical and environmental concern, and they moved forward 12. And what that means is it's more restrictive for the state of Wyoming and those areas for revenue generating activities. Most likely, not as much grazing, but definitely the energy sector, transmission. We're in the middle of a solar. So the thought was that we would put together some, a very general protest. It would be one letter, all 5 counties. We would get your county logo, your county signature, and I could what's the word I'm looking for? I could say that your individual for that little piece, I would not charge you more than 2 hours, which is $250. And so if you could agree to do that, we'll include Weston County, and I can work with Becky on getting your logo and your chairman's signature to Crook County. Melissa Jones is going to be the centralized county to put that together and to file it with the BLM by Monday.
This fiscal year, Drew, I think it's very important that we stick with this, the 5 counties stick together with this and move forward and show our support. It's all the way through this, pretty much the whole state of Wyoming has been in support and stuck together. I think that's why we've gotten some results what we have, so I would definitely be in favor of it. And it's more like I'd make a motion to authorize the chairman's signature and the expenditures of your 2 hours of billing time to move forward with this.
I have a motion. Second.
Second.
I have a motion properly seconded to support Drew in her couple of hours of representing Weston County and their signature, having my signature on. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, you're good, Drew.
Thank you. Just a couple more quick things, commissioners. So at any point in time, it'll either be this Friday or next Friday, we are expecting the final EIS to come out regarding sage grouse. So we will have 30 days also to protest those things that we could not resolve if we're unhappy with what BLM chose to do. That is all going to be taken care of under the Wyoming County Commission Association, I believe. So I just wanted to let you know that that is also going to come out. I think that's going to be the last round of those more statewide things, which is great. So just an FYI. Moving on to Crook, Weston, Niobrara issues. The Bureau of Land Management, and I think Commissioner Todd, you probably received the document from the Newcastle BLM, and it was a response to our comments that we submitted on the administrative draft EIS, which is the draft that is not for public. So we can't talk about that, what's in that in the public at this point. We will be reviewing that, and then BLM got delayed in sending out the draft EIS, so we're expecting that to come out towards the end of October, first part of November, which is a godsend. So I just want you to know, once that comes out, we're gonna have 90 days to provide comments, and I will work to provide comments for all of your counties moving forward on that. Is Jeannie Whalen in the office, or in the audience?
No.
Okay. Jeannie is also going to be working on a ground strategy where we can get out to organizations, associations, private landowners, etc., hosting public meetings to try to generate comments and generate interest. So we will be getting that plan put together and we'll report on it next month. But just giving you a heads up that that's coming. Any questions on Newcastle?
Drew, this is Nate. I don't recall seeing that email. Do you know when it was sent?
It was sent the last week of August, and it was from Kathleen Lako.
Okay, I'll forward it on to everybody in the commissioners anyways. If I can find it. If I can't, I'll text him, and maybe you could resend it to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. Just remember that that's not a public document,
Yeah.
so just FYI. Okay. And the only last thing I want to give a heads up, Black Hills. So we've been delayed on Black Hills mostly because of NOGA. So I am not expecting the notice of intent to start scoping to be, right now there's really no timeline. So I'm expecting that that'll be moved to first or second quarter, which is great, as far as everything overlapping that we've had in the last 2 years. So just to let you know, not a lot going on. We're struggling a little bit with the district office in Custer, but hopefully as we start getting through some of these things, I can get over there and maybe start introducing myself and developing a better relationship with the district supervisor. So more to come on the Black Hills. That concludes my report, commissioners. I'll stand for questions, and then I just want to touch base one more time with Becky before I hang up.
Any questions?
Drew, can you send that email from Kathleen to Becky? Maybe?
Yes, I will.
It won't let, I found it, but it won't let me send it with the attachments for some reason.
Okay, yes, I will. It will probably be tomorrow.
Maybe.
Any other questions for Drew?
Okay.
Okay, no questions.
The new store. This is the one-stop shop. We have a pharmacy. We have a bootlegger's liquor. The deli, the food that you can get at a lunchtime is so amazing. The coffee shop. Certain Friday mornings, there's 30 people sitting here in all these chairs. This is the hub for people to come and visit, have their coffee, have their donuts. It's amazing what this area has done. Totally amazing.
Any other questions for Drew?
Okay.
Okay, no questions.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
So, Becky,
Yes.
are you there?
Yeah.
You are. So I'm gonna send out an email. I'm actually talking to Niobrara County at 10:30, and I talked to Congress County this afternoon, and I've already talked to Campbell and Crook. So I'm gonna send out an email to all of the clerks, asking you to send your county logo along with your chairman's signature. It's gonna go to Melissa in Crook County. She'll get the letter together. I need all the time I can get, commissioners, so I need the weekend to put the protest for Rock Springs together. I will send that to you by Monday morning or Sunday night. And then, so if you've got problems or concerns, just call me. We'll get those resolved before we get it in. We have to get it in by 11:59 on Monday night or they throw it out. So I'm sorry I can't do better. Time just isn't my friend right now, but call me if you've got concerns or questions and we'll get it resolved.
So do you want me to just send that to Melissa directly?
Yeah, and I'll put on I can put all the contact information in the email. I'll send it out tomorrow probably. But she's gonna get it all together and get it all sent in and filed.
Okay.
Great. Commissioners, thank you. I wish I could have seen your faces, but this is the second best.
Thanks, Drew. Thank you, Drew, for all you do.
Thank you. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
2019.
I'm just, there, the first one that you're looking through, this one here, is we did a spreadsheet just like Becky did. And it tells you exactly the percentages. And then here's the profit and loss for them. If you guys have any questions.
I think it deserves commending. It's been a long time since we've seen this kind of stuff there, and I really
That's what
appreciate it.
we agreed on, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it helps us too.
Yep.
And it will help the future board to make good decisions.
I want to comment on this. This budget that we have doesn't actually support a full-time position. Just because there's, the payroll, the retirement, all that stuff. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll probably end up coming and asking you for more money, probably in April, May, because of that. And I know there's a insurance that's gonna be coming up that we're gonna have to pay, and then this budget did not support that either.
Nancy, somebody told me a few weeks ago that they knew of somebody that wasn't having to pay for stall fees out at the fairgrounds. And this wasn't today, this was a year or 2, 3 years ago. I don't know how long ago this happened. And I think it was probably somebody knows somebody kind of thing. It really irritated me. And I wonder if that's part of the reason that if that junk has been going on, my tax money is going into that thing and they're giving that to somebody for free.
Yeah.
Really, really irritates me. And I certainly hope that you guys can make sure that never happens.
We're working on it. I told them I have to have receipts for everything.
That's good.
Because I know it's happening too. And I can't pinpoint who it is yet, but I'm working on it.
I know that, you're getting everything set up on QuickBooks and you're learning that program pretty good. In our business, we had, with the trucks and everything, I actually had a sub count for every truck. So I could actually see where the expenses were going and where they were coming in from. That's something maybe down the road is like you have the event center. That account, this is what it brings in, we know these expenses going out to it, and different things like that. Something like that might really be helpful for you as a board to look at that and say, okay, yeah, this is a money pit. Why are we pursuing it when over on this side we have something that, can generate some revenue even, That's something, just for down the road when you start getting into that, it's been a while since I set up any of those accounts and stuff like that, but I'm glad to come over and help you.
Yeah,
Because once they're set up, it was so easy to go in and you can click on reports, you can set your parameter of the month or 2 months, whatever you want, and it's done. And it's real easy to follow, and just even for you as a board, looking at it, you can say, okay, this is where, this part of the year, this makes income, we need to work on that, and then later on, this part of the fairgrounds makes income, so we can, to help manage the fairgrounds even. So, but it's a very good tool for us to use in our business, tracking stuff.
Yeah.
Because then there are times but then you got some things, it's never gonna make you money, but at least you can see how much you're putting into it.
you know.
And not to echo Commissioner Todd, but it was also reported a couple of years ago, having said that, but that the fairgrounds were buying hay, and hay was being used, but it wasn't paid for. Those are all things that hopefully are in the past, but they were pretty concerning.
Those are new to me.
It's just stuff to watch for, because, I mean, it's right, I mean, it's taxpayer money, and
Exactly.
it's,
Mine too.
you can afford the horse, you can buy your own hay.
Yeah. Do you guys understand what we're doing there with those? So.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying you're gonna have to come in for more money, that's because of you taking over the payroll, correct?
I believe, so I'm gonna make it work as far as I can.
So you took over the insurance payment and everything, so.
Well, according,
That's not very much money for insurance, is it? Because he doesn't take insurance. But when they had it before with Karen, I mean, they made it work with this budget. So I don't believe that's what it is. It's, we now just have to figure out the budget because
yeah, of course.
they had payroll before when Carol was there, and this was them on the budget that they had. So, I mean, it's just a matter of working their account.
Yeah, it is, I agree, but I'm just forced, maybe, I'm just
So
saying maybe.
she was full-time and she actually had the insurance. So it was more money.
Yeah, I'm just, there is a possibility. Because I know that not the insurance for the employee, I'm talking the insurance for the buildings in the house.
They're not paying that right now.
Well, hopefully you can make it work. I mean, I totally
Well, I'm
understand.
gonna do the best I can.
It's gonna work for this year, but I mean, there's not a
It's
lot
got,
to do.
yeah, it's, I agree. But, thank you.
Thank you.
We got a little bit of break. You guys do have a packet in your folder that was Larry. That was just Kim wanted, so she wasn't able to come up here. We didn't get the grant. Back on the agenda, because Susie won't let her get up here. So the Laramie County Grant Policy, packet, she would like you to at least look it over so that when we put it on for the next meeting, this is something similar to what we need for the, grants.
Basically have in place and they, if the Fed say, what is your procedure? You can say, this is our procedure, so we're in compliance to that, so it gives us better rating to get grants.
Yeah, she said, no sense in reinventing the wheel. She said they have a pretty good one, so if we can just kind of mimic what they have. She wanted to be a little over. So happy reading.
No business. Aaron Copeland update, doing some law enforcement.
Brandon's doing that, he's supposed to be coming.
Okay, so we'll just go on with that year over HR and see if that's correct.
I just wanted to let everybody know that, I was in contact with Marcia Romano, and she wanted the commissioners to know that she is withdrawing her interest in working for the county.
Okay.
That's it.
Do you want me to call and see where he's at? See if he's about
Yeah, we
here?
can go on to new business and do it a little bit longer.
Do we have,
Well,
that's for the.
I don't have that guy, he's calling you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What about the paint?
That was Brandon.
Oh,
Steve
that's
is there
right.
with Sean, and so he has information about
Okay.
that, so.
So we'll just give it a, we'll move on to new business and do a few more minutes for him to get here and go back. If everyone's okay with that.
Well, the airport board, that guy's calling you, so
Oh,
you can,
he's
you
still,
can't.
all right.
Yes, we just really don't, no.
Take a break, I guess.
I was on my way over there before, and I got up if you buy a phone
Corona time.
No, maybe. I know, I love it that Thomas likes them, and then my mom brings them off. He gets a whole box and we get one.
I've had my share of this.
Look, have you really ate your water?
Yeah, I did.
It has a baby stomach in because if you leave it,
This is cricket.
It's really bothering me. Well, Garrett, do you like popcorn?
I heard about
I
it.
told him to go to
Mom
Garrett.
told us this morning.
I believe it has popcorn.
I don't mind it.
No more arrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, I don't know if you or not. I haven't decided.
But I feel guilty, I feel like if I go there, I have to get it for my whole family. So I end up
You do.
spending $20 on popcorn.
What do you want to get?
One thing I haven't tried yet is, I think it was back in September, chicken.
Oh, we're trying to, but I agree with
I
you.
was looking to find out what secret stash. So the secret tab is gonna
Because
be
when we go
a
into
new
a
secret
secret
room.
I've
We've got like toolboxes
I
and
use
food in
it.
it.
Downstairs, got and saved.
And sometimes like it's not like.
Why is there sticker bars in the screwdriver? Well, because the girl will look at it.
Event center.
Becky, don't send me any more taxes.
Indoor reading.
I don't send it. I looked at my phone, I was like, I don't send anybody anything.
You can bring it, go into a sub-account and show exactly which one. And same way with your income. You bring it in, you can say, okay, this is income, and in the income, go to the sub-account.
Everybody warns me.
And put it in there so it will actually show
Well,
where that, you know, and then, and it's all up. That's why it's make sure you do it.
So on this.
Yeah, that's it. I think if I went back down through the history,
On this.
I had.
See, where you're going with towards maintenance and stuff. So.
And it was actually
And then
the second time it was so.
Does that work?
Yeah, and you can do that. And then you one event center. That's another way to do it too.
Yeah, that's what, that's.
Probably, well,
The way I-
poke a hole in the radiator, it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to Torrington.
I mean, it's.
45 miles with no water, it's not, I bet that's probably where it started anyway.
You get more detail.
So, yeah.
Because in that one,
And then it just kind of, it surfaced when it was 103.
so we used to generate reports for every
Yeah.
you know. And it sounds like you're.
You sure like it just
I'll pull your account. Your sub account.
Just like that, you didn't have to drive it 2 miles with it in red, even,
Yeah.
even.
It's gonna be tough.
So regardless.
It's just,
I always refer back to.
you know, I'm trying to change.
That's when the part of.
Oh, yeah.
When they
It's
go
just-
up and walk back, when they get broke.
Because I didn't.
I don't even know, they just quit. All right, well, no, we gotta go.
What?
There hasn't been anything that we.
No. Oh, well,
Yeah.
You better.
Did they get that figured out? I think it was.
A buck was stuck
Okay.
on the handicap.
That was kind of scary to ride still.
And we just.
Oh, no, it's been broke like.
It started moving when the door was still open. I told you that, the
No,
day that I
it's
took it.
been broke 3 times since then. We've been without it up here, just got fixed today.
I started on the top one and pushed like, and it started going down the doors.
I said if I use it, I would put my stuff in it and sending it to the floor and then taking the stairs to that floor. I'm so excited. It's the little things in life. do, I don't like independent blood. So when you're done with that, then you can make copies. So I know what.
That's the,
I'll let you get the rest of it. And do the ones on those.
People don't understand that. I understand. What, is it chicken? Why?
Yeah. Well, and the other one, he didn't even give me a firm number, the one from Spearfish, he said 12,000 minimum.
How long ago was that done? Like 2 years?
Whenever they did the remodel.
Right, in the sidewalk.
No, the sidewalk was last year when I started.
Well, not that portion, remember where it broke the sidewalk on the front side. Might have been over 2 years.
Because of him.
That was Sean, they're doing the trim, not the dome. The dome was done during the remodel, he did the trim work.
Okay.
So it's been 5.
Yes, 5, 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Some of the trim is peeling too, isn't it?
Not that I've seen, it's that just, it's all coming off that dome up top. And the trim on the dome,
It's coming off of him.
chunks.
I mean, that hasn't been that many years, even if it was 5.
From what
It
Steve,
was
So,
before I
Was
was
it?
clerk, so like,
Steve said that the guy was up there painting when it was too cold to be painting and nobody could stop him,
Okay.
is what I was told.
Might have been part of the reason.
All right, so I guess so the elevator is fixed.
Elevator's back up and things.
that's the best thing I've heard.
Is that going to be an additional, is that everything covered over that?
I'm still waiting to hear any of the billing from him or the maintenance contracts.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask next.
I haven't seen one word from him on those yet.
Okay, so that, it's kind of still a mystery. Okay,
And we haven't gotten a bill from him.
That's what I said, I haven't seen any billing or maintenance contract yet.
and then the doors.
The doors, those are 2 different bids, so one is from architectural specialists at Rapid, the other is Spearfish Glass. Spearfish Glass is a little bit lower, but he's using a lower grade door because he's doing the narrow style, whereas architectural specialist is recommending the medium style. So it stands up longer to the abuse and use. And then architectural specialist is also putting in there to put in a new threshold there. So we quit ruining the floor at the entrance. Right now, the floor isn't totally covered by the threshold. And you can see the wood starting to expand and split from moisture. So that'd be the difference in those 2 bids.
So.
I know it's 900 higher, but I would recommend architectural specialist.
Okay.
They do a lot of work.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work for us, and that's who Howard White with White's Construction recommends.
I was like, what is that noise?
Hello.
Are these the doors on
Sheriff's office.
the west side, the main one?
Yeah, where the stairs and the ramp are. Yeah. And I talked with Howard on that too. He's still waiting on his breaker piece for his machinery to break the ramp.
But there's gonna be steps that go up there.
Yeah, they're leaving the steps and then we have the elevator.
Okay.
In addition to the weekly printed version of the newsletter journal, we also promote our community and share important information on our award-winning website, newslj.com, and in our weekly email newsletter, Nuke Now. We also connect with readers through various social media platforms and invite you to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can even take a look at a recent meeting of the City Council, School Board, or County Commission on our YouTube channel. We do hope that you will go to newslj.com and subscribe today, and we look forward to making all of our great content available to you. But regardless of your level of support, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing your part to preserve a free and independent local press.
But there's gonna be steps that go up there.
Yeah, they're leaving the steps and then we have the elevator.
Okay. We're just doing it.
That's what we're doing. We're doing away with the ramp.
Brandon, this bid from Hurricane Services.
Yep.
Do you outline like what he's gonna do, like the tin to get the paint to stick to it for longer than 10 years?
I can sure go ahead and ask him.
I wonder, and I'm not,
If there's a primer process or something, he's gonna
yeah, like etch it somehow or something.
scratch it up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to rain on Hurricane Services, but
Right.
maybe not professionals in that
Paint
certain
area.
aspect. Yeah. Who was the other person that you?
Color works out of Spearfish. He had me take pictures, he wouldn't come over and look, and then it sounded to me like he was trying to get out of it, he was trying to throw me a high number, he goes, well, it's 12,000 minimum.
Anybody in Gillette, like, he's actually in the painting realm would be interesting at least looking at it.
I called one other at a Spearfish, and he asked if we had a lift, I said no, so he wasn't real interested, and the other painter guy in Rapid was like, do you guys have a lift? I'm like, no. But I can call some more people in Gillette and revisit it.
Christian, how do you want me to try to call John?
No, I don't. I don't know that.
He's the great one.
Well, I mean, he might very well be fine. I just be curious if anybody else would have a more detailed. I mean, I'm assuming that's why it's coming off, because it's tin, painted tin.
Google it.
No, I can get it, I can try getting hold of the companies in Gillette, see if any of them will come over and take a look.
I mean, I assume this bid's good for 30 days.
Some of them are 3 months, some of them are, it says
30
days. 30 days. So I can try to get someone out before the next meeting and resolve it before then.
Which our next meeting is on the 1st, so that'll fall within those 30 days. Yeah, I think it would have hurt anyways. I mean, Sean, they may very well know what to do and what they need to do.
I have a question. Realistically, wouldn't this be better off now, wait until spring?
At this time of year, probably.
If we get them up there, we'll have the same problem. It's too cold and they won't stick. And it's not leaking, it's not causing any damage per se, it's just ugly. It will cause damage eventually, but.
Much more than people chunks.
But I'm wondering if we should even think about it till spring, I don't know.
Well, the winter with snow and water could cause more expensive estimate and more damage too, so I mean, it depends on how long they figure on taking with it, but.
Or how long it's gonna take them to get out once they get approval.
Yeah. So why don't we put this back on the agenda and give you time to get, if you could get another estimate.
Yeah, I will.
I think we could also entertain renting of it for somebody.
Gotcha.
Does Ace have them?
I don't know, you're gonna need a long boom lift because you wanna keep it on the street to get all the way to the dome.
It's gonna make that big man look like they had when they did the other painting.
Yeah, because you wanna keep off the sidewalk, so.
Okay, so we'll put that on there and on the doors.
Quick question, I'm still on the painting here. What I'd like to see also is on the, I know they come up with the 13,750 or 12,000 plus or whatever. There's some bullet points here on what that includes, but in order to come up with that number, ultimately something had to be wrote down on kind of an itemized whatever.
Right.
Great to have that. If we award a certain bid, that's something that we can use in the future. That's come up before.
Like what its tech handler is gonna cost and that.
Yeah, just a breakdown on it, on specifics of, you know, how the number was generated.
Right.
And, that would be great.
An itemized bid.
It would be.
I think,
Yeah, that way we've got that for future reference and stuff like that, if it was or wasn't done.
I'll call Sean.
warranty information too, how long?
How long? Okay.
Is that good for, I would like to, that's, and maybe it's only a year, I don't know, but I'd like to see it. Right.
Michael, the one that does the remodel, I don't know if they're
Said it was a subcontractor out of Sheridan or something, had a really old guy.
So we'll move that to that, and then the doors, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move we accept architectural specialties bid on the entrance doors for the sheriff's office.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion that's been properly seconded, discussion. This come out of what building grounds, maintenance, or what? It doesn't matter, I just want to.
Work in the let's do all double check. We need to double check too.
I can come up with more projects when I spend more money.
So I have a motion, any other discussion?
My reasoning for that bid is also the medium size board, the probably higher quality, and also the threshold was in on that one.
And 20 ounces of sausage.
Yeah, sausage roll.
Yeah.
We're good.
It's not enough, but it's just a little bit.
All those in favor of accepting architectural specialties bid to repair the doors, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Wow.
Thank you for getting, I know
Oh, yeah.
it's difficult with the elevator and that space. I'm just curious what the bills will be.
That's what I am, because I told Ted that today too, I'm like, we haven't even seen bill one or maintenance contract yet to know what's what.
Just don't remind me this.
Right.
Last night, I'm like,
All right.
Anything else?
Really, thanks for having me.
Have a good one.
alright,
Thanks, Brandon.
we'll stop 17 minutes.
Well, what we can do is
There's another one.
we could get commissioners comment out of the way if we have any. Is there any commissioners comment? Go ahead.
We had a good turnout at the fly-in last Saturday, Mondale Field. Probably, I was just guessing off of the food count, but probably about 3 times more than we had last year. Quite a few more planes. The farthest one that I know that came was from northeast Utah. And it was about a little over a 2-hour flight for them to come into our client, so I was thankful for that.
Nice. Any other?
I used to give a little bit of what I talked about last time about the 50th executive session. The amicus brief was filed and we're just waiting on responses now. So when we know more, we divulge to the public, we will.
I think, all due respect to Mr. Slagle, the comments that were made during the redistricting stuff. You know, there was 1,158 votes cast in Weston County, and he's lost by 2. So there's a lot of people in this county that weren't happy with the current representation as it was sitting, and we had a local in that race. I hope that however this works out, and if it doesn't work out well, or if it stays the same, whatever it does, but I hope that somebody good from Weston County can eventually step up to the plate and garner more than half the votes for that district.
Yeah, I'd like to, the vote is the vote, the people voted, and I don't want to take anyone's vote away. I really don't. I don't know that we can weigh one vote better than others, but J.D. Williams won, and that is what the people wanted, and I get that. As I said, I used that referral of the gate dropping down so they didn't get in trouble for crossing the gate. I think yeah, I just don't think there's so many roadblocks on it. I support what they're saying, but that's where I'm at with it. I congratulate J.D. Williams and everyone that won the election. People, that's their right to vote and how they voted. So every time somebody wins or loses, it seems like it was a bad election, or it was a false election, or it was whatever. And we get to the point where, and maybe, I don't know whether there is or isn't cheating, but I think at some point we have to accept the results that are given and work with them. Really, the primary goal is to represent Weston County, Niobrara, and those the best possible way we can, no matter who's in office. And we don't have to agree, we don't have to like each other, but that's really what the goal should be. And I hope that the board and those representatives work in that behalf instead of, well, I didn't really lose, or I wanted this person or that person. Everybody's vote counts, and it's a shame that we're getting to the point where it's always a fight.
The comment was made that we have a senator that doesn't even come into Weston County. 2 years ago, he was treated so horribly and talked about so horribly by a lot of people in Weston County that on some avenues, I have empathy for him in some of those situations. The politics and the lack of respect for other individuals, I think, is pretty disgusting sometimes, and I think that that senator has done a lot for this county. His family was a part of this county for a lot of years. His mother, I believe, is from Newcastle originally, so I don't know. I just wish that there'd be a little more empathy for people.
And I would agree with that. I would hope, though, that perspective is an important thing, and how you perceive things is taken differently than you or me or anyone else. I'm sure he had everybody has their faults, all of us, and I'm sure he could have handled things a little differently as well. But it's not our right to judge. He was elected, and therefore he is serving in that capacity. And when he is serving in that capacity, because someone treats you bad, doesn't mean you don't represent that area or you're mad at that group. So I would hope that he would consider that, because he has to work with, sure, he gets a lot of people that are angry with him. A lot of people love him.
And I think he's a professional enough individual that he absolutely is serving Weston County. The statement that he doesn't, I think it's not correct.
Okay.
Good.
I have something, I guess I'll just comment on. I'm gonna be sending everybody an email. This is from Park County. It's a procurement policy and procedures manual, and I'd like to put it on the agenda. It reminded me when Brandon gave us the bids, that I think it would behoove us to have a little bit more solid procedures as far as when people put in a bid, what's expected of them in the process. It's pretty short, but takes in statutes and whatnot too, things that we need. So I'll send it to everybody to look at, and maybe we can put it on the agenda and make our own, so we have one that's available to, I think it would help in a lot of confusion that goes on as far as bids and whatnot.
So we'll put it on the next agenda.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
I'll email this one. This one was pretty straightforward.
Or a policy procedure, instead of open order. But I think it's a good idea, at least to look at.
And it'd be definitely something to, like Jim Hansen could put in his 2 cents on.
Sure.
Any public comment? Any public comment?
I did, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
Thanks for sharing.
That was great. Lots of things going on here.
Oh, wait, I have a phone number. Oh, we just years, you're right along the hall, it's there. This thing, I printed that out. Oh, maybe it's one. Yeah, that's on. Yeah, I like that one.
It's actually pretty
Duh.
short. So.
Guys, can you not letter?
Speaking of glasses.
And this lady in the duh.
Oh, you should have that.
Duh.
Michael, I'll also send this to you.
Right.
And I'll send it to Jim too.
Is it Dan?
I don't know. Just, hi, this is Commissioner, or Chairman Taylor. You know,
This is Taylor. Hi Dana, this is Commissioner Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing great, sir. How you doing?
Good, I got you on speakerphone. Are you available to talk with the board?
Sure am. Am I coming across clear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Everybody else here?
Sounds good.
All right. All right, so you want to be on the airport board?
I was trying to get some additional information about what the duties are, what you guys are expecting, but yeah, I'm throwing my hat in the ring and saying, hey, if you can use me, do it free, you know?
This is Garrett, I'm on the airport board also. Dana, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. We've got monthly meetings that are held for the airport, and also looking down through your the information you had sent to us. Looks like you've got some aviation background, and very much is going to be helpful when it comes down to working with our master plan and the engineers out of Gillette. Have you worked with engineers before, as far as with the board? Have you been on an airport board before?
Not on the airport board, no, but I've been on a lot of other boards.
Okay.
Worked with engineers and stuff, so I get how that works.
Sure, the structure of it's very similar. Will be in the topic of what you're definitely learned on, so we're looking forward to working with you on that.
Okay, great, yeah, so the only meetings that I could get, like in the neighboring area, were the ones for, Buffalo, Wyoming. So Johnson County one, and they post their minutes and stuff, and they talk about new FAA grants, those kind of things, that can help the local community or the local airport, those kind of things. So are the airport minutes, board minutes posted anywhere?
I believe you receive them, don't you?
Yeah, but they're not on the website.
They're not posted, but we do receive them as a county.
Okay.
Those minutes are also approved at every meeting, the prior minutes. So
Okay.
if you're interested, are you interested in looking those minutes over? Is that what you're getting at, Dana?
Yeah, just
Okay.
kind of see where you guys are coming from, what you guys are looking for, see how much I can add value to you.
Yeah, they're very much public minutes. If you're interested in seeing those, you can contact our clerk Becky and look those over.
All right, great.
Yep.
And I understand you probably have monthly meetings, is that correct?
We do. We have a monthly meeting. And it's not set, the day isn't specific. It's usually on, it's adjustable to the board. So we want to make sure that we do have that monthly meeting and the most in attendance. So it's usually within that week, whether it lands on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but that's agreed upon at the prior meeting.
Okay. Then another question, are you required to be in physical attendance at these meetings?
It would be, that is, we're not set up for Zoom. I guess you can call in. We have had that happen before too, Dana. But ultimately, your physical presence would be ideal.
Yeah, I could be at anyone I can, but just to let you know, I've got, like for instance, my wife's got to have another ankle surgery. She's going to be on Waybury for 4 months, so we do that down in Phoenix instead of, in the wonderful snowy weather up north. So, I will be out of there for 2 months, so if that won't work for you, I understand, but I want to let you guys know that dedication right up front.
Okay, what's your residence currently?
It's in Upton.
Okay.
We actually have 2 homes, one in Phoenix and one in Upton.
Spend a good portion of your time in Upton.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a Montana boy, I grew up in Ashland, Montana, right north of Gillette, so, that's where I want to be. This is too hot, guys.
Yeah, it is. It's probably getting better now, though, isn't it?
Be another month or 2, you know?
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Any other questions, Dana?
I'm able to answer any questions you guys have. Does it sound like I might add value to you guys?
Is it, there is no position.
Yeah, open position and your criteria here definitely falls into, yeah, you would be valuable to the board.
Sounds great. Well, I look forward to serving them.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the call.
All right, thank you.
Yep, bye.
Make a motion to appoint Dana Dockendorf to the Weston County Airport Board.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion properly seconded, any discussion?
Just on the discussion side of it, the attendance, we don't require a lot of probably physical attendance in between the meetings, but the physical attendance of the meeting is something. And it looks to me like he's got some background there, so I would understand circumstances and things like that, but physical attendance, I would encourage that as well.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of adding Dana Dockendorf as a board member to the airport, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Will you congratulatory acceptance? Any other business that needs to come before the board? Meeting adjourned.